Al-Khair Foundation in Myanmar. We saw you in Chechnya. We see you everywhere, especially Muslim-prone areas. You do not discriminate. We've seen in other spaces as well, but especially the Muslim-prone areas, we have seen Al-Khair Foundation. And Alhamdulillah, it is soothing, so to speak. It is comforting, so to speak, to know that there is someone else doing this job that all of us would love to do in a way or another. But there's someone leading the way. It is comforting enough. But what is of utmost importance for the viewers and for the young generation coming up and watching you tonight, where did Al-Khair Foundation start? How was it? How did it become into being today, Al-Khair? What was that aha moment for you that you realized, so I can do this, so let me start doing this? And what steps did you take after that?
Yeah, mashallah. First of all, I'm honored to be back in Kenya. I've been here in recent years few times, but this is the first time I'm here with, you can say, full diary and full program, mashallah. And the reason I'm honored because I wasn't born in Kenya, but I was few months old when I arrived Kenya. My parents moved here, and mashallah, I was brought up in Nairobi, in Pangani. My two sisters were born here, mashallah, in Nairobi. And alhamdulillah, from 1970 till 1983, my father was Imam in Pangani. Now, my father, subhanallah, if you ask anybody of that time, mashallah, and the senior members of this masjid also are friends of my father, may Allah have mercy on his soul, inshallah.
Amen.
He was very dynamic person, mashallah. He was, you can say, one of those who were thinking out of the box, who's not glued to your own psychology or ideology, but mixing with everybody and keeping everybody together and like that. So I picked up many skills from my father from childhood. And from that, basically, I had rather serious childhood than a childish. And mashallah, from childhood I've been thinking quite differently. So I'll give you one example. My father asked me, what do you want to be? And I said, I'd like to be pilot, so I can travel and this and that and so on. And then after a few days, I read in local newspaper that there was this plane crash and so many people died and this and that. And I said to my father, no, I don't want to be pilot because I don't want to be reason for the death of people. Right? So not that I was scared of, but because in the article it was blaming on pilot and so on.
The responsibility.
Yeah. So then my father said, what do you want to be? And I said, I think I would like to be a doctor. And this is when I was only 6-7 years old. And around that time, sometimes things happen in coincidentally, but it happens in sequence. Around that time, my father gave lecture in Jummah or so, which I remember quite clearly. And he's, I'm not sure you can say the background of the evidences, but he said that around midday, you shouldn't be in the ocean or in the lake or like that, because the water balance is not stable and so on. So that is very dangerous time to be in the river or in ocean and so on. And few days later, our doctor in Nairobi, in Pangani, who was our family doctor, he went on boat fishing or whatever with his family around midday, and the boat turned over, and entire his family died. Older people might be able to relate to this story. They would know this incident because it was very, whole Nairobi was sad at that time. And luckily he survived because when he managed to sit on the boat again, although the boat was upside down, but none of his family survived. I said to my father, no, I don't want to be a doctor. He said, why? I said, doctors are so stupid. You gave lecture and you explained in lecture only a few days ago, and he didn't listen to your lecture. He was there. So, you know, as a childhood, I had, mashallah, this different...
You're exploring, your mind is very curious, so you really want to explain to different
Yeah.
prophets. Yeah.
Then my father said that, you know, do you want to go to school? I said no. I want to study whatever I want to study, even if it is medicine or whatever. I want to study from Arabic books rather than English. He said, why? I said, because if I go to school, I will become like English people. You know, I don't want to have the habits of those English people.
No.
So I don't mention these background things, but because I'm in Kenya and my childhood was here, so I thought with the barakah of this program,
Inshallah.
I'll mention few things in the background.
No.
So mashallah, I'm honored to say that I don't have any school or college degree or qualification. I've never been to primary or secondary school in my life. I don't have, you know, forget college or degree. I haven't even attended first year one, or reception class or like that, or nursery. No. So, yes, I have qualification on Islamic subjects in Arabic language and Darul education, mashallah. But conventional knowledge or primary or secondary schools, or media or finances or science or maths or this and that, no. Except what I studied from Arabic books or Urdu books and so on, mashallah. So when I went to UK, I was 15-year-old at that time, and in UK by law, any child who is under 16 have to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming after my father that your son is not 16 yet and he needs to go to school. And I told them, I said, look, I'm thinking to go to boarding school, and we exploring and this and that. So there is no point of me going for a few days and while we exploring boarding school.
Mm.
And at that time I didn't knew that boarding school do exist in UK.
Wow.
I just said it to, you know, push
to buy more time and to push them away.
That's
Yeah.
right, yes. But then we started to look and we realized that there are 2 boarding Darul Ulooms in UK.
Oh, mashallah.
So I said to my father, let's visit and this and that. We visited both, and mashallah, my father chose one, and my entire education was there. When I finished my education, I was 24 years old. The principal said to me that up to now you don't speak English. You are 24 years old. You are qualified. You're going in community. How you going to work in community without speaking English? I said, okay. I said, but I have this, you can say stigma or this, what do you call it?
Perception.
Perception that if I speak English, I will become like them. He said, no, you are very strong. Nothing will happen to you. You go and start exploring the language. So I started to listen people, how they speak, rather than going to any adult classes and so on, mashallah, and that's how it started.
Allah Akbar.
And then I thought that all the ulama that are coming from madaris and so on, they focus on masajid, they focus on teaching maktab and giving lectures and so on, which is fantastic, alhamdulillah. But what different can I do? What is different activity that it is within Islamic line, but something different? And I didn't knew the answer at that time. But subhanallah, one day it came into my mind that there are many Muslims in prisons of UK, so maybe I should focus on them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'm talking about 1990s.
Wow.
At that time there was no culture of imams visiting prisons. There was no payment for that. There was no expenses paying or anything like that. So alhamdulillah, started to visit prisons and so on, and making most out of the time they have, free time they have in prisons, and mashallah, dawah activity and so on. So there is, you can say, progression period from childhood to this level where basically, alhamdulillah, I became married after that, and then my daughter was born.
Mm-hmm.
When my daughter was coming to nearly school age, at that time I was worried about her education, and I was keenly looking at basically either I relocate myself or I do something for her education. So that was the main driving force, for sake of my own daughter. Yeah. And then suddenly something happened, and I saw few students in the shopping center while they were supposed to be in a school.
In school, yeah.
I asked them, why you are here? They said, we are suspended or dismissed from school.
Why?
So I spoke to their parents, and these are the kids who were studying in the masjid in evening.
Okay.
So I spoke to their parents, and I said that why they're wandering around. And they said they've been dismissed for behavior or whatever, and we are at work. Nobody is there to look after them. I said, okay, from tomorrow send them to me during school time.
MashaAllah.
Now, knowing that I have never been to school, I don't know how to utilize their time. But I just took this responsibility, and at the back of my mind also that for sake of my daughter, I want to do something. So two things connected together, and this thing gave opportunity for me to start teaching them.
MashaAllah.
Initial teaching was about Islam and Kalima and surats and like that. But slowly it progressed to other subjects, and requesting basically other school teachers or college teachers to give me 1 or 2 hours a day or a week.
So at this time, you have your daughter together with this group of girls that you're teaching them, and at the same time you have the Prisons project.
Yes.
That you're doing all of them together voluntarily.
Yes.
That is after school.
Yes.
I'm assuming at this time you're around 25, already 26.
2003.
That's 2003.
Yeah, 2003. So I was at that time 30 something. Yes.
Ah, okay, okay. So these are the two projects that were foundational in that.
Yes.
Great.
But it started with boys' school. So these were the boys first,
Okay.
the one who were wandering around. So Alhamdulillah, school started, and Subhanallah, it progressed very swiftly. Within 1 year, it became full-fledged primary and secondary school.
SubhanAllah, mashallah.
Many people, they were in opposition at that time. They were against this. They even wrote to the state education secretary that you have given license to a person to establish a school who never been to school himself. Right. But they said that his paperwork and application and everything is up to date, and his all policies are accurate and so on.
MashaAllah.
So I was facing huge challenges from my own community and my own people who knew that I have never been to school, and they knew that this school will fail because he doesn't have any experience of running a school. But mashallah, I brought in good team, and I gave them full free hand, and alhamdulillah, they took a school further. And within a matter of few years, it became one of the best schools of the country, out of government and private schools. At that time, there were 43,000 primary and secondary schools in UK.
Wow.
43,000.
And you came out the best.
And to be amongst top 1%, and then to be amongst top 100, and then to be amongst top 50 was not easy. MashaAllah.
Wow.
And then with that, basically, I thought, okay, I'm teaching these 500 children here, but what about rest of Europe, where there are Muslims, but there is no masajid, or there are no schools or like that, or there are no scholars in many European cities. UK is good, mashallah. We have a good network of masajids, 3,000 masajids in UK.
MashaAllah.
But European countries. So with that idea, we started television channel, Iqra TV. So first TV channel started, then few years later, second TV channel, and then now we have 3 TV channels.
MashaAllah.
Broadcasting on a Sky platform. Sky is going to nearly or maybe more than 10 million homes in UK. 10 million homes in UK, and it's free to air channel. So anybody who have a Sky box, the official subscribers of a Sky who pay monthly subscription to Sky, for example, are nearly 10 million or maybe more than 10 million by now. So you're talking about basically, if in each house is 5 to 6 people, you're talking about 50 to 60 million people.
So transferring the knowledge that is being transmitted in schools, now you're taking it to people's homes.
That's right, yes.
And I'm sure this knowledge is not just the conventional knowledge, but you have a component of da'wah in it as well.
Definitely, definitely. It has component of dawah, it has component of saving money to Muslims.
Beautiful.
So, for example, many Muslims, not Muslims, but anybody, if something happens to your fridge or your fan or your microwave or cooker, you will just throw it away or you replace it, while it could be something small. So, we teach about those things.
Wow.
Then GCSE results, preparing students for exams, doing through TV channel, basically providing that educational material that the tutors and tuition fee
are charging for in other spaces.
£50 per hour.
Oh, no.
They're charging $50 per hour.
You're giving it out for free.
We're giving free. We're preparing students across anywhere.
So this time, how are you funding all these projects? How are we funding particularly this TV channel? I mean, because
so basically two things in that. Initially, when we started, we took over a channel, up and running channel. So their advertisers became our advertisers.
Oh, okay.
So we had a bit of advertising income. We had to cancel many advertisers because it was not fitting with Islamic ethos or Sharia requirements. Because of dress code or because of music or because of the product or whatever. But we then realized that we can't sustain on advertisers. Now, mashallah, in UK I have very good following and people appreciate me a lot, mashallah, over there. They appreciate our efforts. So I say to our people that you become our advertiser, and instead of basically we promoting a product, during commercial break we play du'as, we play ayats of Quran, we play ahadith and so on. And instead of basically me finding advertiser who can pay £1,000, let me find 1,000 people who can pay £10 each.
Wow. That's a beautiful model.
So
Sheikh, we're still traveling, we're still going towards the journey of Al-Khair Foundation. Yes.
So in 2000, from childhood again, I've been doing a lot of charitable activity from my own sources, mashallah. From childhood, I've been kind of business-minded, mashallah. And I was very shy from asking for money from anybody else because, mashallah, I had good source of income and so on. But and therefore, in 2005, there was earthquake in India. There was no Al-Khair Foundation at that time. It was Al-Khair School, yes. So the trustees of Al-Khair School, we were well-to-do people, mashallah. So we went with hundreds of thousands of pounds of our own money to earthquake affected areas of India, Pakistan, and delivered aid over there and so on. And then there was further earthquakes. And so we were responding to every emergency, but in personal capacity. In 2010, there was Haiti earthquake on 12th of January 2010. October was earthquake in Pakistan. So 12th of January 2010, Haiti earthquake happened. And not that many Muslim organizations were responding to it. And I spoke to a few organizations and I said, I have Iqra TV, come and fundraise here for Haiti, let's do something.
Yes.
And they said, donors will not donate for this. I said, we need to work for sake of humanity.
True.
Just because Haiti is non-Muslim country, it's huge disaster.
Right?
Yeah. And if I give you the comparison, in 2005, India-Pakistan earthquake, around 300,000 people died between Islamabad and Delhi, between two countries. The distance is thousands of kilometers, or over 1,000 kilometers, if not thousands, over 1,000 kilometers. 300,000 people died in 1,000-kilometer plus area. In Haiti, 300,000 people died in 20-kilometer area. So you can see the severity of that earthquake, and we not responding to it was another disaster to me. So I decided to go myself with my own 10,000, 20,000 pounds and so on. And when people found out they started to support, and within 24 hours, £250,000 was raised.
24 hours.
Yes.
Superb.
Not raised, but came, basically, because raised is basically you are doing fundraising.
Yeah.
Without doing fundraising.
So you decided, you know what, regardless, you guys decide whether you're following or not, me, I'm proceeding.
Yeah.
Bismillah.
Yes.
Tawakkal ala Allah.
That's right, yes. So that's how, mashallah, you can say the journey began. But it was only for short period. Okay, we will go and do a little bit of work, come back.
No.
Then there was Japan tsunami. We responded to that. Then there was Mexico earthquake around those days. We responded to that. But in every emergency, we were just going, doing our responsibility and come back, not doing us with the intention of being humanitarian organization. But Allah wanted us to go in this direction.
Allah chose.
And mashallah, the donors started to donate amazingly. That in first year, basically, our turnover went from £500,000 annual turnover for a school, it went to £1.8 million. In second year, it went to £6.1 million. In third year, it went to £13 million. And that's when we said, no, we need to slow down. You know, so in 3 years, from like 0 to £13 million, you know, or from $500,000 to 13 million plus, was amazing, mashallah. But with that came a lot of responsibility. And I had two choices. Either basically we pick areas, we pick either project or we pick area or country or nature of our delivery, and we focus on that. So let's say we pick one country or one project, and we become champion of that. So there are organizations, for example, that are working on education.
Yeah.
So they would work on education in many countries. Or there are organizations that are focusing only on Sudan or Somalia or Kenya or Pakistan, or, you know, like that. And I thought that, you know, the most difficult and most challenging work is emergency disaster response. So I don't want to fix myself to a country or to a specific project, but to work on emergency disaster response and become, inshallah, champion of that.
Wow. Wow.
That we are amongst one of the first one on the ground.
To respond to any emergency.
Yeah, and subhanAllah, you know, somehow, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, somehow it happens that wherever there is emergency, we manage to reach there in shortest time. Either I'm at the, sometime emergency happens while I'm at the airport. You know, this Turkey-Syria earthquake happened when I was at Dhaka airport taking flight to Riyadh. You know, I was in Dhaka, was supposed to go to Riyadh.
Yes.
Straight away I changed. I said, no, I'm going Turkey.
Subhanallah.
You know, when Gaza war happened, 7th of October, I was in my flight from Libya. We were responding to Libya earthquake.
Yes, yes.
I was going to Afghanistan because there was earthquake in Afghanistan.
Yes.
And suddenly 7th of October happened, and the only route from Libya is via Cairo. So when I landed in Cairo, I got the news that 7th of October happened. And I said, that means borders will shut down very soon. So
yes.
we have to increase our aid flow, you know.
Yes.
So I stopped my journey there. I spoke to airline. It's very difficult to persuade airline to give you your luggage in middle of your journey. While you are in transit.
While in transit, yeah.
But I explained them my profile. I said, look at my passport. I don't have a single page empty. I travel to all emergency areas, and this is emergency. I need to work here. So, mashallah, they gave me the luggage. And I said to them that even if you don't give me luggage, I'm going out.
Whether you give me or not.
Yeah.
Habib, there's one thing you mentioned at the event, that Al-Khair Foundation, everything you're doing, even when donors come in and donate to this project, you have 100% distribution policy. Not even a single coin goes towards administration. How then are you able to sustain thousands of staff all over the world?
Yeah, you see, first of all, we don't write on the website 100% donation policy, although we are implementing 100%, maybe more than 100% donation policy.
MashaAllah.
Right? We don't write just to be on safe side as part of taqwa, you can say. So we don't want to claim something, and just in case 1 penny of someone's £1,000 donation is used for anyone's travel or like that, basically. In UK, we are fortunate that government of UK, they give you tax back on the donor's donation amount. Right? Now, those people who are paying tax, so in UK, the normal tax you pay on your wages and salaries is about 23–25%.
Yeah.
So government gives you 25% tax back. Now, that doesn't mean that you get that donation, that tax back on every donation, because many donors are non-taxpayers. Either they are retired or they are self-employed, so their tax calculation is different, or they are unemployed, you know. And so when you are retired, you tend to become more generous. So majority of the donation comes is from retired people and so on.
MashaAllah.
So therefore, on average, you can say 1 out of 2 donors will be taxpayer. So we will get about 10, 12, 13% of total donation amount as a tax back from the government. But this is for UK donors only. So anybody who have donated internationally, on their donation we won't get.
You get the tax back.
Now in UK, if government is giving you, let's say you have raised £1 million, and even if you work on 10–11%, which is very low, you know, normally it's 12–13%, some even claiming 14–15–16%. Even if it is 10–11%, still that is £100,000.
Yes, very good.
For an organization a size of £1 million to receive £100,000 from government is not a small amount.
Agree.
For Al-Khair Foundation, we are receiving, this year might be slightly higher, but up to last year we were receiving £1.6 million from government.
Wow.
Now, how can I justify utilizing that 1.6 million and then on top of that take a cut from donors' money? You know, so although government is paying you gift aid because they say this is our contribution towards the good work charities are doing, towards the projects and so on, and there are mechanisms and rules for that and so on. But generally speaking, you're receiving this support from government. So if charities wants to basically manage themselves within that framework, it gives you enough flexibility, mashallah.
Wow, that's a beautiful way. That's a beautiful concept. I'll leave to the accountants in Kenya to see if that's even possible.
in Kenya, sadly, they charge tax on even
on donation,
on charitable activities.
I know, even on donation and on grants.
We want to import a drilling machine, one of the really powerful water drilling machine into Kenya. The only thing holding me back from importing those machines is the tax we have to pay.
That's the only thing?
Yes, because that amount is quite a lot.
Let's have a conversation after the show. But subhanallah, ya Shaykh, Allah subhanallah, really inspired. Now lastly, what is the future for Al-Khair Foundation? Subhanallah, we've seen the past, the vision where Al-Khair Foundation started. We are witnesses of what Al-Khair Foundation has been able to do right now and what Al-Khair Foundation is continuing to do all over the world. What is the future? Where is Al-Khair Foundation headed? What should we expect?
To be honest, I wish that Al-Khair does not exist, in few years' time. I wish there is no need for any charity organization to do any work. I wish that there is no disaster and there is no war. I wish that there is no hunger and no poverty. That's what my ultimate dream is. I'm not here to basically make Al-Khair #1 organization of the world, but rather to strive for a system and society which is just like at the time of Khulafai Rashidin, Umar radiallahu ta'ala, and we are not like them, but we can certainly follow their footsteps. So my prayer and my dua and my wish is that tomorrow the world becomes so stable that there is no need for us to do this work. My passion is education. I miss that field. I wish I can go back to my teaching profession.
That is powerful. That is really powerful, Allah.
Yes.
Allah, those words are very weighty. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Thank you so much. In the interest of time, inshallah, we'll have to call it wraps here tonight.
Inshallah.
But thank you so much, Allah, for making time. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Imam Qasim, for honoring us and giving us this time, inshallah, out of your precious moment. Jazakallah khair. My greatest take home, 4 minutes past 9 o'clock, is Imam wishes that Al-Khair Foundation doesn't exist. Those words alone just destabilized me, because if you interview anyone who is in charge of any entity, tell you, oh, I'm going to be the best guy, I'm going to be the best organization, I'm going to be the best this, best this, best this, I'm going to lead this, I'm going to lead that. But Sheikh said he wishes that Al-Khair Foundation does not exist. That is powerful. That is key. If not selflessness, then how else would you describe that? My name is Feisal Kassim, and thank you so much for tuning into Live Real Talk Show on this powerful interview tonight with Imam Qasim Rashid Ahmad, all the way from the UK, who has honored us with his precious time to be with us in studio. See you next week, same place, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Horizon